All right, everybody, welcome to another beautiful episode.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Welcome to the Just Call It podcast here with William and Ceasar once again. Here enjoying today. What did you bring us to drink here today, Ceasar? What did you bring again? Ceasar, let me explain. Ceasar, every time since we've been doing the podcast, which is only 3 times, he's been bringing a total of
now it's
20. Well, what's 6 times?
6 times 3?
6 times 3, 18, right? So he's been bringing a total of 18 beers to my house.
So far.
That's
not. No, I'm lying. I brought a 4-pack.
Oh, you did.
Last time it was a 4-pack because it was a stronger beer.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what was the first beer you brought?
The first beer I brought, I have no idea anymore.
Who's Rasputin?
No, that was the second one. That was the one from last session.
The I don't know.
Anyway,
okay, well, second beer.
The second beer was Rasputin. It's definitely my all-time favorite beer by North Coast. Not a sponsor, but it comes in a 4-pack, and I know that for my own experience, it's probably almost impossible to drink all 4 and stay awake.
Why do you say that?
Because number one beer, 1 Rasputin, you feel good. With 2 beers, you're feeling a little tipsy. 3 beers, you're drunk. The 4th beer will make you pass out.
We should have a challenge like that.
There is a Rasputin challenge, actually.
Really?
And I've never been able to finish the last bottle. Because you can get to the last bottle, but maybe you'll get halfway through it or 3/4 way through it.
And everyone challenges that you cannot finish a 4-pack.
You can't finish the 4-pack.
Because you'll
black out.
Black out.
You black out.
I don't know, man. I can
heavy.
drink a lot of beer.
Me too.
I can drink a lot of beer. You know, I can drink quite a bit of beer. You know, I can pound them back. And what did you bring me today?
Today is an IPA.
All
It's
right.
a Racer 5 by Bear Republic. It's
Not a sponsor.
not a sponsor, but it's got good alcohol content, 7.5.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a little messed up. Just a little messed up.
All right, man. Thanks,
But it's
man.
delicious. Yeah. Cheers to that.
And on the way on today, you know, we had a little jamming session. You know,
Oh, yeah.
we played little drums. I played drums for about 5 seconds.
I play guitar for about 6 seconds.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. We did, we're doing some things there. you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to get some good recordings down. Hopefully you guys get to enjoy them later.
Yeah.
But
You know, you come here today. What's D10? What is that?
D10.
What is that on your shirt?
It's Dio, man.
Okay.
And it's one of my favorite bands, actually.
All right. What
Yeah.
like the shirt? You got a Colossus dog-looking dude who's super tall,
So actually,
and then you got Frankenstein in the water.
it's not Frank. It's actually a priest.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's this creature back here is actually an ancient creature.
Mhm.
It's all obviously mythology, where these were the ancient rulers of the earth, the original people on the earth,
Mhm.
and just being against religion is one of the topics that heavy metal back in the day would bring up to light, because in reality, religion has a dark past. It has a really dark past.
All religion does.
Yeah, all religion does. So they like to bank on it, and Catholicism and Christianity being some of the biggest religions not only in the U.S. but in the world.
Using fear to kind of keep people in check.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it
Okay.
appeals to the market around the world when heavy metal brings religion as a subject of songwriting. But of course, it's got shock value. People are like, "Oh man, this is edgy." But Ronnie James Dio himself, he's an amazing musician. He's a vocalist, and he's been singing since early 70s. Started off as an a cappella group, and he if you listen to his first material back in the day, you would not believe it compared to what he did his latest material. But
what was their era for music?
The era, it was
For Dio, yeah.
For Dio, his biggest one is the 80s. He actually took over Ozzy Osbourne's spot in Black Sabbath.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and believe it, a lot of lineups that are changing don't really get that good of a backing from the fans. But Ronnie James Dio is such an amazing vocalist that he actually appealed to everyone. It's like, all right, cool. Yeah, there was some people that were like, oh, Ozzy's better. But even if you were to listen to Dio's albums with Black Sabbath, which is Heaven and Hell and so on, you'd be like, wow, this is a good band.
It's kind of like the battle between, you know, the original singer of AC/DC and the second
Exactly.
singer.
It's very similar.
And a lot of people battle against who's the best. To me, I'm one of those people who feel that the first singer was the
Bon
best.
Scott.
Yeah.
If he was still alive, that would be amazing.
Do you know how he passed away?
Yeah, actually. So, it really sucks, but interestingly enough, his story has led me to probably saving my life.
No shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Bon Scott, the original singer of AC/DC, him and the band were out of this pub, just back in Australia,
Okay.
I believe. And they were out, he got fucked up. He just got super messed up, and he said, hey guys, I'm just gonna go pass out in the car.
And he was already famous, right?
He was, yeah,
okay.
they were coming out. They were coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And he went over to the car, passes out, like on the seat. Just imagine you're in your car seat, and you recline the chair a little bit, and then you're just there. Just pass out. And some of you might actually probably guessed it by now. He ended up throwing up. The vomit was still in his mouth, and he choked on his own vomit.
Oh my god.
In a car. It is...
Dude, that's how so many people die, man.
Exactly.
They get... You know, my friend actually has a pretty sad story. You know, a good friend of mine who he was, a lot of fraternities, what they do is a lot of good fraternities, what they do is they'll take turns watching the people who are completely passed out.
Watching? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like,
okay,
they'll be on duty to be like, oh, dude, the homeboy's passed out. You watch him for an hour.
That's cool.
You know, and what happened is that while they're switching the people, the guy that they're watching passed away.
While they were switching?
Yeah.
What?
You know? And then it kind of sucks, man, because like, college life, everyone's pressuring you to drink so much.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like...
It is true, man. Yeah.
I like, to me, like, I don't know who drinks more nowadays. Is it the era back then or now? I would think the era back then drank a shit ton.
Actually, I would say it's the same, but there's more circulating drugs nowadays.
Yeah, the mixture of drugs.
Yeah.
Back then it was just beer and pot.
Yeah.
Now it's like beer, pot, Adderall, and fucking like, cough syrup. Just things that are just ups and downs.
You got cocaine. It's far more accessible. There's a lot of disposable income in the United States, so people can actually buy it if they really wanted to.
You buy it on the internet.
You can buy it on the internet.
Like, how is that even possible nowadays?
It's just so possible. People underestimate the power of the internet. You could do so much.
Dude, what was that website that they came out with that they were selling, shit on the black, right on the internet? They're selling the strongest ecstasy. My friend one time,
I've not heard of it.
That website, there's a website, I forgot what it was. It wasn't WikiLeaks.
It definitely wasn't WikiLeaks.
No, it wasn't WikiLeaks. It was a freaking episode. It was a freaking man. People are probably screaming this right now at the computer.
This is why we need Daniel right now.
Daniel needs to be.
If we need to say, if this is your first time on the show, we have another member in the team who is supposed to be in the background, fact checking everything, just so that we don't have these awkward moments of trying to figure things out. Because we're not perfect.
No, we're not.
No, actually,
we're not smart.
Well.
I'm speaking for myself.
Nah, man, come on, man.
Okay.
One thing that I want to bring up, if anybody's joining us back from episode 2, is that whenever we're wrong, I think it's really important for us to admit whatever we said that was wrong and correct it.
Yeah.
Billy, here in front of all of our viewers and our listeners, I want to say that I was wrong about Dolores Park in the last episode.
I knew you were. Yeah. We actually discovered that towards the end.
I wouldn't fight you to the death telling you that I was right.
Yeah, you were ready to tell me, nah, dude, Dolores Park is over there.
It's Hippie Hill, man. It's Hippie Hill.
They're both parks.
They're both parks and they both have hills.
So it makes sense.
So yeah, Hippie Hill is definitely not the same as Dolores Park. So everybody that was screaming, probably listening to the video, you were right. And I'm acknowledging you guys.
There's probably some people are out there like, yeah, Caesar's right.
And I appreciate it. But you know what? I'm going to accept that I was wrong. And yeah.
You know what? Back to the drug thing though, for real, man. Like,
Yeah.
well, anyways, I forgot the website, so I'm sorry, guys, if you already know the website. But I got a story. One time, my friend, this one time, my friend, we were celebrating New Year's, and I went over his house, and I was thinking, like, man, because he knows so many chicks and stuff like that. Like, he was gonna bring chicks, and his sister was gonna bring chicks, and I was single at the time. I was like, yeah, man, this is gonna be dope.
Yeah, hella chicks.
Show up, it's like me, one of my good friends, and like some other guy. And I'm like, what the heck, man? And it's like years ago.
How old were you?
I'm definitely over 21. Younger than 25.
Okay, all right. So you're definitely prime time.
Prime time, Billy. So we go inside his house, and we're saying what's up. I'm looking around. It's a very dull moment. Because it's New Year's and I got like a suit on at this point, What? Yeah, I look real nice.
New Year's?
It's New Year's, man, of course.
God.
So I go to my friend's house, he pops out the pot, taking a couple shots, watching TV, watching the NBC News or whatever. They're on New York and stuff. And he's like, hey, man, you want to try something? And I'm like, yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, whatever, man. What you got? He's like, man, I got some ecstasy. And I'm like, what the fuck? Wow. Never tried ecstasy in my whole life, right?
Yeah.
And he goes into this explanation like he's fucking like a some type of physicist, Like he's like, see, ecstasy, man, it's like when it's blue, it's like really pure. No, but when it's red, that means it's like cut with some other shit in it, right?
Wow, okay.
So I got the red ones, right? So he gave me one red one, and he said like these red pills that he bought were really expensive and really powerful.
Wow.
And I don't think he was sober enough to give me that. And I wasn't either, so I said, sure, man, I'll take it. I popped one whole pill in my mouth.
All right.
Right? And we start getting in the Uber. We head over down to a club. We go down to downtown Walnut Creek, right here in California. And, we're walking in, $20 cover. They're playing my favorite music.
Okay.
Go to the bar. Boom! Shit hits me so hard, dude. I looked at my friend. My eyes were literally the size of dimes, bro. And I literally looked at him and I said, bro, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I don't know how I managed.
And this is your first time?
My first time.
Okay.
I don't know how I managed. I made it back to my friend's apartment. Luckily, my friend's sister was there. I literally fucking just hit the floor, fell asleep, and I woke up literally like I felt like I was biting. Like all night, I was biting like peanuts. Like I was trying to break walnuts with my teeth, dude.
Oh, no.
And it was just the worst experience I ever had in my life. It was a shitty New Year's because, like, it's not a New Year's when you literally make it to the club for 1 hour and you go back and then you fall on your ass and you fall asleep, man.
I too, man. I got two experiences with E.
Okay.
Right? The first time I took E was at Outside Lands, and it was at the Kendrick Lamar was playing, and I get a pill, right? I don't remember the color. Okay. But anyway, I take it, and I'm thinking, all right, it's going to hit me. It's going to hit me at any moment. I'm ready. It was a party, all right?
Mm-hmm.
I was ready. And I'm thinking, all right, it's going to hit me. It's going to hit me. The end of the concert comes by. And I'm thinking, oh, man, is it going to hit me while I'm driving home? That's going to suck.
Ooh.
And I told my friend, because I brought a friend over. I'm like, hey, man, the E hasn't hit me yet. He's like, for real? It already hit me. I'm like, okay, it's going to hit me at any moment. We get in the car, and I tell him, dude, I don't know if I can drive like this, but we got to get home.
Yeah.
So we get home, and we're actually staying at my dorm over in college, and we drive home, and it still never hit me. I'm thinking, all right, is it gonna hit me in the morning? I wake up, nothing happened.
Wow.
I was like, okay, that's weird. The second time was
probably gave you a Tic Tac.
No, I don't know. we both took the same pill, so it hit him, but it didn't hit me.
Maybe it was a placebo.
So the second time, I told a friend a girl that I was going out with, I said like, hey, I tried E one time, but it didn't hit me. She's like, all right, maybe you need a higher dosage. I'm like, okay, all right.
So she's like the doctor.
Yeah,
she just has the pills.
Dr. Feelgood. She's like, oh no worries. She prescribed me a higher dosage. I'm like, all right, cool.
Shit.
So I take it, and we're at a rave.
Sounds like you're like triple X status.
Triple ecstasy.
Okay.
So, yeah, I definitely got a higher dosage that time. I take it. It never hits me.
What?
it doesn't hit me. And I'm waiting. I wanted it to hit me. But no lie, just last week, I learned how E actually works.
Okay.
What it does is that E releases your spinal fluids onto the rest of your body. And I don't know if the listeners know, but I have actually got back problems. And the friend that told me about this was so pissed off at me. It's like, you fucking asshole. Don't you know what E does to you? And I was like, no, of course, I didn't know. Even now, I guess I'm pretty naive about it. But he tells me, it releases your spinal fluids onto the rest of your body. So I'm thinking, because of my back problems, maybe I don't have enough spinal fluid in order for it to actually work on me.
Yeah.
Which I need to bring up to my doctor.
Hey, bro, ecstasy didn't work, man. Let's not chill, bro.
No,
I'm trying to get my party on.
I'm the type of guy who's not afraid to talk about anything to my doctor, actually.
Neither am I.
Even if I was there, I'd be like, yeah, I took E and it didn't work. So I
tell doctors everything. They say how many, what you smoked and all this shit. I tell them all.
Because number one, they have that confidentiality thing.
Yeah.
Which if they break, they will lose their license.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not only that, I think the relationship between a doctor and a patient itself, if you are to build it, it becomes pretty strong and you have that trust with them, which I do, because it's their job to try to make me feel the best. Why am I going to hide any facts about my life for them to actually help me? So.
Number one, man, about drugs and going to doctors, there's really not, I personally, to me, I think that there's really not a lot of resources for people who are addicted, becoming addicted, or coming off of it. Constructive ways of getting people off drugs nowadays,
right.
And especially with healthcare being so limited to a lot of people nowadays. Back then, man, my mom was able to get my whole family on her health insurance, dude.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can fucking barely get yourself on it, dude, with your company. And all companies don't offer it over here in California, And it's really sad, how things have gone since, I guess that kind of ended around the Clinton-Bush era, around that time. And, Obama came in and, I don't want to get into politics. I don't want to get into all that shit. And, I
maybe not in this episode.
Yeah. I'd be talking out of my ass at this point. But, bottom line, when I was, about, 15 years old, that's when health insurance kind of took its pitfalls, it didn't work after that. I wasn't able to get health insurance. So really around the beginning of the Obama and the end of Bush administration, that's when the health shit kind of didn't work. And, it kind of sucks because if, people need to go to the hospital, people, for the stupidest things, they need to go to the hospital. And you know what the hospital helps people get out of work sometimes if they need to get out of work.
Yeah.
If they need a fucking doctor's note.
Yeah.
If you don't even have health insurance, you can't even get a fucking doctor's note because you just be paying your whole day of wages going to the doctors because you can't afford it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Does your company offer health insurance?
Yeah, actually, they offer two different types. Mm-hmm. One supposedly is a not so great one, and then one that is supposedly good. Mm-hmm. I had the not so great one because I said, you know what, I'm young. What are the chances of me getting sick? Of course, life hits me with back problems, and I went to the doctor. Just throw a number out there. Guess how much a doctor visit cost me with the insurance that is not so good.
$200.
$700.
Holy shit!
For one visit. Do you want to know when I went back to that doctor? I have yet to go back. I actually did apply for the better one last a couple months ago, so now I can go for a better price. Yeah. I just haven't gone. But on top of that, I want to build on when you said how it's so hard for people to leave an addiction, and if there's any listeners right now that are dealing with an addiction, I think I understand when they say that it's not that easy. Because right now the solution that the media has, maybe companies that are against drugs and trying to get people to get away from drugs, what it sounds like is that their best strategy is just say something or seek help whenever you can. But in reality, just saying something or actually going up to someone for help is one of the most difficult things ever, man.
Yeah, right now I think a lot of people in California, they're really experiencing the problems with having to get off marijuana because it's so accessible.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need to call a drug dealer. You know, you don't need to call your homie for a dub or a 20 sack. You know, you don't need to fish through lines of friends that you know, through friends of friends to hit up a dealer, or wait a couple months to finally get some weed, you know, or try to battle it out to kind of prove to, you know, a doctor, or try to hide from people that you got a medical marijuana.
You can just go and buy it if you're 21.
You're 21, you just go and buy it.
And if you're not 21, you could probably get a friend.
Yeah, you can get a friend, a family member if they're cool with you doing it, or whatever. And you know, just as a personal person who has gone through that, trying to quit marijuana, you know, it's tough because you really have no one really stopping you, telling you shouldn't smoke.
Yeah.
Except yourself or people around you. And people think, oh, marijuana is not. It's not addictive. It's not something that affects people's minds. Like, it doesn't do it. I'm pretty sure there's a majority of people out there, including that are in positions like myself, who are trying to get a job, who are trying to, you know, get themselves straight, who don't want to feel down. You know, weed is great. Smoking weed feels good. Smoking a blunt every now and then with your friends, hella fun.
Hella fun.
Good times. You know, I can tell you.
But I think where you're going at is that it's really hard to stop, and people may say
it's
like,
hard. It's so hard,
because they might say like, oh, marijuana is not addictive, but maybe the chemical compound, how people perceive addiction, is that there's a chemical compound that goes into your brain and it says you need it. Mm-hmm. But from what I've done in my own research and what I believe, it's that it's a habit.
That's exactly it, man.
It's a habit, because whether it's marijuana, whether it's junk food, whether it's a person, you are just used to going to the store and you're used to just grabbing a bag of chips. Right?
That's how weed is now.
Or the weekend comes along.
Oh.
And then you're used to hanging out with this one person, but you don't have another friend. So out of habit, you're like, hey, what are you doing? Even though that person might be toxic in your life. Mm-hmm. So addiction, from my belief, my own personal belief, which is not backed by any science, unfortunately, but just personal research, I believe that addiction is a habit, is not a chemical compound that goes into your brain and it kind of just rewires you or controls you.
I agree with you 100%, dude. Reason why is because, you know, as someone who was experiencing that and trying to come out, so I'm gonna get personal because I think it's a good thing for people to be aware of that. So I was with the job for a while, without a job for about 4 months, right? And, you know, being at home all day and being someone who smokes weed on a constant basis, my level of smoking weed didn't go from just after work. You know, it now moved up to being, because I was unemployed, it went to like 4 or 5 times a day. And then my dosage from those 4 times a day, instead of being a bowl, became 5 different joints.
What an asshole.
And then
never invited me to smoke.
Well, you had a job. So, you know, you had a job.
So many balls, man.
So, and then, you know, and then it became 5 blunts a day.
Yeah.
You know, it became a serious amount of weed where I was literally smoking probably 2 grams to maybe 3 grams a day. You know, that's a lot of fucking weed to be burning in your system.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just a habit. You literally are just, everything that you do, you gotta be high. Cleaning dishes, I'm not high. Doing laundry, not high. Doing groceries, I'm not high. You literally revolve yourself around that life, and that's how anybody with an addiction, they must have that. They must have that in their life. They find ways to do it. Yeah. I found ways to do it when I traveled. I found ways to do it when I visited family. I found ways to do it when there's nothing to do. You know, it was hard to get. I found it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the shitty part. When I was literally looking at my bank account, because obviously 4 months without, you know, working, you know, you start looking at your bank account, you're going to these stores to buy weed, and you're like, shit, man. What am I doing with myself?
Yeah.
And that's where I say to myself as someone who says, yeah, you can smoke weed all day
and I don't think
do whatever you want.
I honestly don't think you're alone. I'm pretty sure some listeners right now, whatever it is that they may be just contemplating within their own daily habitual lives, is that they ask themselves that same question. What am I doing
with my life?
With myself. Or with my life, to myself.
My money, yeah.
Exactly.
And my advice to someone anybody who's going out there with that, man, from the bottom of my heart, dude, I highly recommend you seriously cut that shit out. Anything that you do, you fucking throw all your weed shit paraphernalia away, your bongs, even though it's gonna fucking hurt you, all the hundreds of dollars you spent on it, your grinders, anything that reminds you of weed, throw it away. Now, give it to a friend who you know won't be affected, that if they keep smoking, it's not gonna affect their job, their life, or whatever, you know?
Now, one thing that I'm gonna say is that itself is not effective, because since it is a habit, you can easily just buy weed again.
No, and, reason why I say that is because when you finally come to a point where you don't really have fucking money, the paraphernalia is useless. And even if you want to go buy the weed, you have to still buy the paraphernalia to smoke it, because you can't just buy a bud.
You can buy a blunt. You can buy a pre-roll.
Yeah, you can buy a pre-roll, but it's more expensive. See, that's the thing.
But even under, and I'm gonna call it.
Okay.
Even if it is, here's the thing: if you really want it, you're gonna get it. And this is why I think it's a lot better for us to start labeling these things as habits. Is that the only way you can get rid of a habit is by having a new habit.
Yeah, that's a good tool towards that. But what I'm saying is here, and in calling it in the most seldom of ways, what I'm saying is, once you cut off marijuana and you're telling yourself that you're cutting it off, and that's why, because that's what I'm telling you, it's coming from personal experience.
Yep.
Me sitting here today, cutting off, throwing away my paraphernalia, and literally looking at my bank account and saying to myself, you know what? I'm feeling like this is starting to become like a drug habit. You're ridiculous habit.
So it's going out of proportion. You came to a point in your life, which I would call a point of understanding.
Yeah.
Which is having perspective on yourself.
But I'm sorry to cut you off. Well, I'm sorry to cut you off. But what I'm saying is, what I mean about cutting it off is you need to do not only a cut off of paraphernalia, and I get what you mean.
So not just a physical.
It's not just a physical cut off of throwing away the shit,
which is an important step. I would say it's a very important step.
First, it's the physical concept of throwing the shit that you have, things that remind you of it.
Okay.
And for me, it was just a little bag of shit. Like, I had my grinder, my zigzag.
I don't know. I was in your bag. It was a big garbage bag. It was a big ass bag. Fucking liar.
It was a little bag.
I'm not gonna let you lie to the fucking listeners, man.
It was a big fucking bag. Anyways, I threw it away. Gave some shit to a friend. And
a fan, oh man.
friend.
A friend. Watch me get fans like, oh yo.
Hey, if you're giving away weed, I'm right here, bro. No, for real. You gotta give that shit away, and from that's what I'm saying, from the bottom of my heart, you really, because what about it is like most people who smoke weed. It's kind of hard because I hate to assume things and shit like that, but most people smoke weed like me, like normal people. I guess I don't even want to say normal people, but smokers who smoke. In this day and world, most people nowadays, they kind of, in the Bay Area, from what I'm seeing, they indulge in going out and drinking.
Yeah.
They have a normal job and they smoke here and there.
Yeah. They
don't do anything else. They don't partake in ecstasy, they don't partake in cocaine, or they have, obviously they have, but they don't always do it. It's the normal thing is work, drink on the weekends, smoke a little pot. That's the normal thing that most people do nowadays is smoke a little pot.
Yeah. Definitely. I would agree with that demographic.
But what I'm saying is that sometimes the pot part of it on people like me, where it's a normal part of life, it starts becoming life. And that's what I mean about cutting off with people like that. When it
Wait,
comes
cutting off with people like that?
no, well, it'd be wise to cut off from people from like that if you're constantly always with people who just smoke.
Yeah.
They don't got a job.
Yeah.
All they want to do is smoke fucking pot and all that shit. And
That's
nothing against that, but dude, you gotta eat. Like my mama fucking says, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you do.
Yeah.
But you gotta eat. So if you gotta eat, that means you gotta fucking work.
Yeah.
Well, whether you sell fucking pot or you fucking work your ass off, you gotta do what you gotta do, and working takes energy.
Yeah.
So you can't be fucking. You can be high and doing that shit, but you gotta be fucking working, brother.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is, if anybody's out there trying to quit marijuana or anything, the best thing to do is to seek help, cut it off, and replace it with something else. I totally agree with you that.
I would say
Working out is really good for men and women.
Yeah, it is.
While you're, if you're trying to quit an addiction, working out is such a positive addiction.
Yeah.
I love working out now that I, been quitting marijuana. Working out is one of the things I like to do. Staying busy, man.
Yeah.
That's that. This podcast has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
To get out of this, to find new focuses. And I really agree with you on calling that out.
Yeah.
Find a focus or find a habit that takes over a bad habit.
Yeah, because our episode 1 actually was it was recorded while we were both
Really baked.
really baked and we were drinking, and part of the focus on that is that it was about quitting weed. So we've actually both agreed, like, hey, you know what? Let's not smoke before the podcast, because number 1, episode 1, guys, if you were to listen to it, it's garbage.
It's dribble.
It's dribble. It's disgusting.
It's just us for 30 minutes.
I don't think we're gonna release it anytime
We're never
soon.
gonna release it.
I don't think we're ever gonna release it. But you brought up a lot of really good points right now, and like from my own personal experience, I know that seeking out help is probably the toughest part. Mm-hmm. And you definitely need to find an avenue, and by avenue I mean person or actual new habit or activity where you can express yourself. So if you have a friend that is really, someone you really trust, try, throwing a little bit, try opening up a little bit, and if you know them well enough, you're gonna know how they react. Mm-hmm. And it's not something to have your problems being thrown at someone else. Like, for example, Billy, I don't want to throw my problems at you, right? Mm-hmm. But you care about me, and you would probably lead me on the right direction. Yeah, for example, this podcast.
Yeah.
Which we're just a couple of dudes, random dudes.
Yeah.
Who said, let's just start a podcast. But right now, it's a tool because we both are just not utilizing marijuana.
Yeah.
So that one in itself, we've already built a new habit of, twice a week we meet, we record.
Right. And then we're telling everybody our formula. The reason why is because, if anything, if someone's listening to this, whether you don't become, a permanent fan or someone who's just, scrolling by, just trying to hear what this is about.
Yeah.
I hope that we affect you. I hope that, if you really are
in a positive way,
in a tough position in your life where you're trying to quit an addiction. Addiction is one of the most toughest things for everyone to get. I mean, for me, I can even share, I have mental health issues. I believe in the idea of, I got a semicolon tattooed in my back, which stands for, suicide awareness. And I really believe most people who do have addictions have mental illnesses, and or not, it doesn't matter. And you can build them. You can build mental illnesses even if you think you don't have them. And what happens is that when you start in taking drugs while you have mental illnesses, and you're even taking NSAIDs, which is basically like medicines to help people with mental illness, what ends up happening is that it's a bad mixture.
Yeah.
And you go down a wrong path. And bottom line is that smoke weed here and there. don't do it at all.
Yeah. Don't let it take over your life.
Don't let it take over your life. Fucking stay strong. And doing drugs to me is just a phase in life. And honestly, man, if anything, fucking work, bro. There's nothing better than being addicted to making money working hard, starting something of your own, opening your business, start venturing out to new ideas.
I would say always have multiple things to do.
Exactly.
Different ideas, different activities.
Exactly.
I'm gonna actually be right now, not selfish. What is it? I'm going to be
conceited.
A little conceited. Okay. Let's go with that.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty conceited that as friends, we were able to, number one, we have the podcast. Number two, if you've been keeping track of our episodes, we have the trophy system. Yeah. Right? Number three, now we know we can jam together.
With my we can jam. Caesar is a very experienced guitar player, and I have a very, very, very cool electric drum set that's broken.
But you see, it's a puzzle piece that we're able to put together.
Yeah.
We were able to have all these different activities, all these different options for us to do that distracts us from doing anything else. If we have that support system with each other, which we do, which is amazing. So I am going to be considerate about that.
Conceited, you mean?
Conceited, yeah.
Yeah, considerate.
I
am going to you considerate.
I'm going to be considerate about us.
Open your other beer because you can't pronounce any words.
But you know what? That's here in the Just Call It podcast show. We're not afraid to get real, man.
No, we're not, man. We're not. I mean, we're here to help people. We're here to fucking talk shit. Mm-hmm. You know, even if it hurts your feelings, we're sorry.
Yeah.
People hurt our feelings in our lives, and that has happened forever.
And it's never going to stop.
It's never going to stop. Yeah. So, really what the Just Call It podcast really stands for is we believe that in life, you need to call your own shots, man. And you need to do it. You need to follow through with it. You can't just dilly-dally and fucking decide and take forever. You need to fucking just do what the fuck you say you're gonna do.
Yeah, exactly.
There's nothing better than just calling it and fucking sticking with it. And whether you're right or wrong in life, you just do it, man. Because that's part of life. You fail and you keep going until you get it right. And that's what the Just Call It podcast is. It's a bullshit podcast that we bullshit together. We talk about sensitive topics that we like in our lives that are current, that people can relate to. And what it is that we are here to fucking, when you drive home, we want to make you laugh. We want to make you cry. We want to make you fucking be like, fuck yeah. Or be like, fuck no. You know?
Yeah, I agree. It is, I like for this to be able to bring out the essence of individuality for every single
individuality.
Person. Yes, if you have a passion, to go full throttle with it. Don't let it is so understated nowadays that you only have one life, and if you don't really use the opportunity of the life to take the shot of actually going for your dreams, then you're gonna end up regretting it, man. Time goes by so. I'm 27 years old right now.
Yeah.
I don't even remember 26, 25, 24.
That's really bad, dude. You can't remember.
Oh my god, maybe the ecstasy did hit me, man. No, but
they do put holes in your brain, bro.
They do.
Yeah.
But the quality of life, I believe it's really on the risks that you take in it.
Yeah.
Within it.
Yeah.
This is a risk right now, and it's probably one of the most fun things I've done in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And we've only done 3 episodes.
Yeah. We probably, people are probably laughing at these guys are having.
Yeah, these guys. they're really a podcast is all they've done. But, some people might be stuck within their minds. Like, they think they can't do it. Mm-hmm. We're going for it. Mm-hmm. We're out here, episode 3. We're going to go for it. If it fails, fuck it. We're gonna end up with a job regardless.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah, we're going to pay rent.
We're still gonna get bills paid, yo.
We're gonna try it, man.
Just kidding, guys. We love you guys out there. Whoever's listening, we love you from the bottom of our heart. We can't even believe you click play.
But we appreciate it.
We appreciate it, and we swear that we will continue this going on until we literally we're canceled.
Or banned from Earth.
Or banned from Earth. You know what's a fucking crazy thing from Earth is the black hole thing.
It's been popping up everywhere.
Everywhere, bro.
Do you know why it's such a big deal?
Tell me. I don't.
You don't?
No.
So, this is actually the first image of a black hole.
I know that, yeah.
There's 2 black holes that are close to us. Number 1 is the one in the center of the Milky Way. I don't know if everybody knows, but...
That's not in our galaxy, though.
It is the Milky Way galaxy. We are part of the Milky Way.
No, but
the one in the picture is not.
The one in the picture
is not our galaxy.
Is the one that's center in the Milky Way galaxy.
No,
I'm sorry, but I'm trying to correct you because I just read the article.
And I know it's not, because I know the one in the center of the Milky Way galaxy is not active. And by active, I mean that it's actually not taking in anything at the moment. It is really close. We could probably get a better picture of that one. But since it's not active, we can't really see anything around it as well as the one that we have.
Go ahead, keep talking. I'm going to try to research this on the Google.
All right, as I'm talking to the listeners, go ahead and research it. But the black hole that we got a picture of is actually farther than the Milky Way galaxy black hole. And I don't know if I got to say it, but in the center of every galaxy, there is a black hole. The history behind the black hole is that in the life cycle of a star or a sun, when it becomes a supernova, that means that the sun actually blew up because it took in everything within its solar system. It became a really concentrated point. That point can become two things. Number one, it can blow up and become a supernova cloud where it creates new planets and a new sun, or it can become a black hole. And what a black hole is, it's a really concentrated point in the universe that it just sucks in all types of matter. Matter being anything physical, any atom, including light. So light can actually bend if it passes the event horizon of a black hole. Billy's actually looking up right now.
So from my understanding, of course, is what's going on is that what I know is that all this group of people that work together throughout the world.
Yeah.
Lined up a bunch of telescopes to look at this black hole and to use kind of this layering type of thing that they have idea. I'm not a physicist, but I'm not an astronomer or whatever. And they pointed it at the black hole, and they had projections of what they believed the black hole would look like, and then they finally got real images of it, right?
Yeah.
Which was the black hole that you're talking about that's in the middle of the Milky Way. And there is another black hole that's actually in our own galaxy of ourselves that we are finally then going to aim these telescopes to then look into the one in our galaxy. And that's what's going on to this day, currently.
I mean, I guess we're going to find out in the next episode, because I need to research it. If only Daniel was here,
he'd be able to
get it
here,
done. He'd be that centerpiece that is able to say, nope, you're wrong, you're right, and that's it.
Yeah. But Daniel, I have to admit, man, you suck.
But yes, actually, what it would take to generate a picture of the one that we have right now is a telescope the size of the Earth. So that's why so many different satellites were involved in this picture, because with the inclusion of all these satellites aiming at the same point, they were able to, in a way, simulate a giant telescope. Yeah. That's why it took so many to actually generate that picture. And
isn't that amazing?
It is, dude.
Isn't that amazing, man?
It's amazing.
Like, the whole thing about they were saying that the fucking black holes are fucking invisible. That we, in the first place, can't even see them.
Because
that's crazy.
Because a picture itself is a reflection of light. Mm-hmm. So that's why there's flash and cameras and so on, because it'll capture whatever the light reflects. Mm-hmm. In theory.
And it's the light that's circling around the black hole because of everything it's sucking
Exactly.
away. Yeah.
The actual black hole is not perceivable because it sucks in light. It doesn't reflect light.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing is whatever the black hole is sucking. But the actual black hole is nothing. Nothing visible.
Sorry, viewers, but we're going to be taking I'm going to take a quick beer run. Caesar is going to come in and either entertain you with some good humming or a great conversation.
All right, he's going to take a quick run. But I'm going to go ahead and continue on the black hole itself. That picture does not only show us the first black hole, but it actually helps with the theory of probability, if I'm not mistaken. We need Daniel for this. But relativity. That's what it is. The theory of relativity. Originally done by Albert Einstein. And it's a huge discovery in this world. in the study of the universe itself, but it just looks blurry to us, right? It's just a blurry picture. The reason behind why it's so blurry, it's because the actual image, and I hope Billy could hear this, but the actual image is huge.
Are you talking to yourself?
Yeah. So do you know why it's blurry? Do you know why the black hole is blurry?
Why?
Because the real image of the black hole, it's huge. It's a big picture. Just imagine you take a picture of San Francisco, right? The entire city.
Okay.
And then you zoomed in to the Salesforce tower.
Okay.
It would be blurry. That's what's happening here. They're zooming in to the black hole, and that's why it's blurry. I mean, this thing is light years away. So,
yeah, it's 55 million light years away, I believe.
It's far. It's fucking far. I don't care what camera you have, you're not going to picture this thing. You're
What
gonna
I remember reading, it was 55 million or billion light years away.
Billion sounds right.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty insane. It's pretty insane to, think about all the shit that's going on, that...
But it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah, and then they're going to look into the black hole that's in our galaxy, and hopefully that, doesn't eat us. And
It's going to take a long time for it to eat us. But that's so beautiful about technology nowadays. We're accomplishing a lot.
Yeah, and you know what? And they do say that a lot of people are not getting into the technology industry because of its, a lot of young people are not, into it,
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people aren't, getting into the NASA program. A lot of people
NASA and space. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of young folks aren't willing to go through all the schooling that it takes to do that.
Yes.
And that they're deciding to just, go do business, easy, 4-year type of stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing extensive. Doctors. Is that
think about it. You could become a software engineer within a couple of years.
Yeah.
You could be making over 6 figures.
Yeah, why would I waste my time into becoming 10 years into school? And yeah, I get out of school when I'm 30 years old and get a good job and whatever, maybe retire a little soon, or I get out of school at 24 and retire sooner and make a shit ton of money.
Exactly. Unless you have a passion for space, then
which is we can't hate on that.
No, I love that.
I would encourage someone to do something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because that's fucking amazing.
We'd be best friends.
Hey, what are you doing tonight?
You want to talk about the sun?
Look, it's pretty clear outside. Can we go out?
Want to talk about it? Just look up to the sky like, hey, what do you see?
Hey, man, you want to teach me for the next 20 minutes? Minutes? It's pretty fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, it's fun to learn, to nerd out every now and then.
You know what's even crazier? How, talking about space. Recently I was watching the movie that came out with Marvel. That new girl was the movie?
Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
What? Well, that's how they pronounce it at the end of the movie, but...
Really? Oh, you watched it? I haven't seen it.
I just think it's crazy how these people literally, they fly and they go out of the atmosphere and they can still breathe and fight shit. Like, seriously, they just can breathe everywhere. What kind of, can they explain that science behind that shit?
I don't think there's much science behind it. There's no active oxygen in space.
No.
But I guess it's a superpower that you don't have to breathe. And would you like that superpower? Not having to breathe? If you say yes, that's so stupid, man.
That is the stupidest superpower. Because I can still, die, yeah, I can jump into the bottom of the ocean.
And that's actually pretty cool.
I can breathe anywhere, all over, anywhere. Yeah, but you can't fly.
All right, what superpower would you pick then? If you only had one. Fuck. If you could only choose one superpower.
You know what? No one can beat super strength. Super strength is the shit, dude. If I can do anything, it would be that I would be as strong as Thor,
Okay.
Literally pick up buildings, fuck up shit.
What would you do picking up buildings?
Dude, if any...
we need to pick up this building and put it over there. I'll call buildings.
Dude, I'm the strongest dude on earth. If someone said, I need help with my groceries. With my groceries. Help me. I just an Uber over there. Help them with one shot.
Because he only got strength enough flight.
Yeah, dude. I literally, with super strength, though. But seriously, with super strength, if a villain or some guy at a bar said, "Hey, bro, fuck you." Like, you can literally, like, just wink at him and he'll fly through the wall. You know? Super strength.
He's like, oh, is he hitting on me? And then, oh shit, he's hitting me.
Wink, boom! Like, he just flies through the wall, you know? Super strength is also good for, you know, definitely super strength's not good for brushing your teeth. Super strength is not good for changing diapers.
No. Could you imagine sex with super strength?
That's what I always wondered. I'm waiting for Marvel or DC Comics to come out with a sex scene that someone breaks their, you know, just touches someone and they're like, oh,
that one movie, Hancock?
Yeah.
With Will Smith.
Yeah.
They addressed it where he, at the end, he just, I believe it was in the ending credits, he's having sex with this one girl, and when he comes, it shoots like fucking bullets.
Oh, shit! Oh, man, I gotta see that movie again.
I haven't seen it.
That's hilarious. That's like the
hilarious
scene from Scary Movie where the guy's just like,
yeah,
and the girl shoots into the wall and shit like that.
No.
You know, sometimes guys can be like that. Sometimes I can be like that, man.
I don't even want to know why you know that.
No, I'm serious, dude. Some people, man, they hold it in for like months, bro, and it's like
months.
Like, just you can fill up a cup.
That's it.
I'm sorry. I get, and you know, sometimes even girls, dude, when they don't do it for a while, man. Damn, if they got a man, dude, they don't care. They'll go up to their man and beat him up for some dick, you know? Like, I swear to God, bro.
Oh,
like,
man.
You know, you can't. It's normal for young people to want to do it.
And old people. I mean, you can't discriminate.
I know. You know, I've been hearing a lot of stories about, you know, people in old people homes and doing it. And catching syphilis.
What?
I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying to you. Yeah, dude, people are now still to this day having sex in old people homes and they're still catching venereal diseases.
Dang.
That's not weird.
That is interesting. I wouldn't say weird.
I'm trying to think though, but do they get hard-ons? That's what I'm thinking in my head, man. Like, do they still get a woody? Like, I still want to get a woody till I die.
I'm wondering if like the Viagra industry is out there just as a marketing thing. Like, hey, you can't get a hard on, you know, use us. But I wonder if people can actually get a hard on.
Probably.
Because I'm sure there's old man out there who would still get a hard on.
You know what would be my superpower is to always have the best sex. And a huge cock. I swear to God, that would be my superpower. Huge cock, best sex. I would literally be like what's that guy on the SNL, the fucking guy who's like has an afro and he's like always like sexy with the chicks, the ladies man, like that guy. He's like, ladies man. He says shit like that. He's hilarious. That was a good movie, man. I love that movie. That was a good movie. What would be your superpower?
My superpower? Probably reading minds.
Reading minds.
Reading minds.
That'd be good.
Only
and also useless. Why?
I wouldn't know.
You'd be like reading every dude's mind. Boobs. Every chick's mind. Good.
No, I'm actually. I'm a firm believer, and this is a fact. This is a fact that every person on this earth knows something that you don't. And I think Bill Nye the Science Guy is the one who said it. Do you remember Bill Nye the Science Guy?
I remember Bill Nye
the Science Guy. Well, he said, one of his quotes is like, every person on this earth knows something that you don't.
That's true.
And that's what I would love to read people's minds. If I could get that knowledge from your mind, what can't I do?
But reading people's minds makes me think that comes really good with negotiation.
Yeah.
You know? Reading people's minds mean that super strength can still fuck you up. You can read my mind, but would you read this punch? Could you stop it?
It's going to become braille because I'm going to touch it. But why am I fighting you, man?
Well, that's part of superpowers, man. You gotta fight other people with superpowers.
You gotta fight.
Or
I mean,
team up.
if we're gonna dive deep into it,
okay.
I could learn a lot of shit that would probably fuck you up.
Like, what would be the weakness of super strength? Right? What would be the weakness? Like, super strength? Like, you know?
I don't know. Do you have emotional strength? What if I can fuck you up emotionally? Which is really fucked up. I don't know.
Like the Juggernaut, that's why the Juggernaut has the metal cap. So
because Professor Xavier doesn't.
His brother. That's Xavier's brother. Wow. Dude, I love comics, man. I love learning about
I do love the X-Men, but I've never dug deep into it.
Yeah, so the Juggernaut's brother is Xavier. Professor X. Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, it's a trip. It's a trip, bro.
Quality content. Because I did not know that. Yeah. I thought Magneto had a special feeling for Juggernaut, and that's why he's like, oh, you should wear this. I didn't know.
Magneto also has some correlation with Xavier in the past. They're not related.
Well, they were friends. They were best friends. Actually.
Yeah,
maybe
that's why
even.
He also wears the
because
helmet.
he knows. Yeah.
He knows that that's the only way to stop the telepathic.
Which I believe that's one of the most badass stories. Is that storylines behind it? You know, Professor X, Magneto, how they grew up and then drifted apart and becoming enemies. That is a masterpiece in my eyes.
Oh, yeah. And that's all going to come to an end now that they're going to come out with Endgame.
No.
I know. And it's just has to be like that. It's the end of the game.
Well,
man.
Disney is in charge of Marvel now. And you saw what they did with Star Wars. I don't think they're just going to end Marvel like that. There's no way.
But that's why they're coming out with new. And that's where it gets weird because they're almost coming out with new shit on making up on their own.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not having the old people there. So they're going to have to draw a new audience. Because for me to go see a new character I have no clue about, I have to, have some backstory behind it. But if a little boy grew up with it now and were to see that at my age later, that's what Disney should be planning to do.
Which they might be.
Well, obviously.
Which is the reason why I recently purchased Disney stock.
I also purchased Disney stock.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, shit.
I'm trying to get that ching ching.
Is any of our listeners also purchased Disney stock? If you did, cheers.
Yeah, go out there and get that Disney stock.
I mean, number one, and I wish I said this earlier. Number one, neither Billy or I are professional psychologists or physicians or any type of medical field. So anything that we say is not in a professional.
Yeah, don't
in
listen.
a professional
Don't trust
advice.
Us. Don't trust.
We
us.
only go off of personal life experience and what's worked for us.
Yeah,
that might not work for you, but yes, please don't take it as professional experience. Same with stocks. We do not say
we're not financial advisors, so don't buy Walnut Disney stock. Walnut Disney. Oh my god, Walt Disney stock.
Razor 5 is what we're drinking.
And Clamato Bud Light.
But yes, we're not financial advisors. We are a couple of dudes that are just barely getting to know the how stocks work, right? Because I'm not very familiar with it. I just started.
Yeah, I just started. So the stock that I have right now, I've been using the Stash app. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
So I've been using that, and I bought Walt Disney stock. I bought stock for, let me see here. Let me show you my portfolio.
I bought some cannabis something stock.
The cannabis stock did not work for me. It actually made me lose money.
Really?
Because it was going up and down. See, I would imagine getting probably the stock now for the 420 boom. That'd probably be cool.
But not only that, I have not done my research. I am going to do more research later on. But this is just out of a whim. I'm thinking that as more states make marijuana legal, the industry's gonna start to boom.
So the stock that I have here is I have the Walt Disney stock.
Walnut.
Walt Disney stock.
What if you bought some fake stock and instead of Walnut Disney?
That would suck. So the Walt Disney Company stock, which they acquired Fox, which is pretty fucking. They bought Fox? That's the big thing about it. That they bought Fox. Where they're gonna eventually make Simpson Park. So with Stash app, you can actually invest into multiple stocks in one, so they have a match the market stock, which actually you actually do a very small percentage of multiple stock markets. So it's pretty neat, and so I have that. I did Netflix, obviously, because Netflix is slowly getting bigger and bigger, and they're making better movies. And I also invested into destination recreation like cruises and stuff like that. So
I'm actually using Robinhood, that app.
Yeah, I heard that's good too. Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor. It was referred to me by a friend because word of mouth is so strong. Word of mouth is one of the strongest forms of marketing if you can achieve it. But yeah, a friend told me about Robinhood. Super easy to use. And I bought my first couple stocks.
Nice.
That's what I did.
So what did you invest in?
Disney and the cannabis one.
How much money have you invested?
Yeah, this was yesterday.
So what, $20?
No, I threw in $100 and...
Oh, that's good.
$50.
Nice.
And right now my portfolio is up to $155. So
nice.
$105,
Nice.
I'm still trying to figure out, how dividends work, how actual trading works. But hey, maybe later on, if you guys are actually interested in finding a new source of income, I would say, just try learning a little bit about stocks. There's avenues now which you can take through your phone to get started.
Yeah. And you invest a little bit of money, and then in 5 or maybe even 10 years from now, you can probably see $50 turn into $500. Even though it doesn't seem like a big deal.
Right.
$50 sitting around that you didn't think about turning $500 is pretty nice.
The way I'm looking at it too is that, let's say $100, excuse me. $100 you were expecting to spend at a bar or at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. That experience goes by like this, right? Mm-hmm. If you do it every weekend, you forget about it. It's not really that important of a deal. If you were to take that $100 and invest it, it becomes bigger in the end, in the long run. A really hard thing to visualize, but if you really think about it, which is really hard to do with anyone, it's like sit them down and think about it, like, hey, this $100 could become something bigger in the end. Invest it, and you're gonna look better in the long run. That's what I'm doing. That's how I'm seeing it.
Well, that's obviously the best thing to do. To me, obviously, not only that investing, save 10% of your check, dog.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
10%.
Every time you get paid, 10%. 10%.
You never know how it's gonna go.
If you make $900, save $90.
If you ask me, what do you have to lose? You have one night of going out to a bar to lose.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you know what?
You're not gonna cry about it.
And you get 2 checks in 1 month, and you already saved.
I get 1 check, but
okay, well, whatever. However your system works, you save 10% of your check. However it works. You're saving about $200 a month, or maybe $50, whatever, depending on how much you make.
Yep.
In 1 year, you're saving almost $1,200.
You know what I think it really takes? It really takes someone to experience what investment feels like to understand it.
I've actually been listening to a lot of documentaries lately, and it's so crazy how much the structure between middle class and the higher class and the lower class, it will never change, man. But the amount of knowledge the lower class gets about saving their money, knowledge about getting a job that saves their money, trying to get on that welfare system, to get out where they're at. It really sucks because they really don't get that type of knowledge. They just get the type of knowledge to still stay in the welfare system.
Yeah.
Like, why don't they start teaching people about saving money? Teaching them about investing money. Teach them about how to get this education to just get this far.
I don't agree with our educational system right now. Of course, again, I'm not a professional in any way whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm a firm, strong believer that if you really want to learn about it, the information is out in YouTube, dude. I'm pretty sure you can find how to invest.
I mean, if you want to pick your boogers, it's on YouTube.
Yeah. If you really wanted to go for it, you could learn it all. Maybe not all, but you could learn a good amount to get started in YouTube, which is what I've been doing so far. Mm-hmm. I'm really interested. I kind of got the bug on it. I'm almost so driven by it that I'm going on YouTube, I'm listening to all these people talk about it, get these popular opinions, their experiences, and that's what I'm taking in. That's what I'm learning.
That's all it is, man. It's learning from somebody's experience.
At the same time, like, who the fuck do I think I am that I need to be taught these things? Right? I'm a man. I'm a grown-ass man. I need to take action in my own life, go out there and learn what I want to learn. Mm-hmm. You know, why am I waiting for the government to make that decision for me? Like, oh, you should have taught me this. Fuck that. We're grown.
Yeah, you gotta go out and get that shit yourself, man.
We gotta go.
No one's gonna fucking help you nowadays,
that's
bro.
What fucking work is. Are you scared of work?
Fuck no.
Are you scared of hard work, man?
Fuck no, bro.
Are you scared of having to spend an entire night not sleeping, but actually researching and putting effort to your life?
Fuck no, dude. You know, even though I came from a really stressful environment where I used to work, you know, I was working there for fucking almost 10 years, man, and, you know, you gotta fucking go in there and get the shit done, bro. Do whatever the fuck you gotta do, and that's it.
Yeah.
Bottom line, that's it. And you know what? When that check comes, you feel good. You put in more than 40 hours a week. You know you didn't want to, but you did it.
But you did it.
But you did it, and you feel good.
I think that's one of the most respectable things I can appreciate in our modern world right now. People who actually go out there, work the shittiest jobs.
Yeah.
But in the end, they know that they're not going to stay there for the rest of their lives. They're building for something else.
Yeah.
And if I were to meet any of you listeners right now that are going through some really serious hardcore grind on the daily, even if you work 7 days a week, you know, I will say, you know, man, I respect that.
I salute you.
I don't care where you work. I don't care if you work McDonald's, dude. I don't care if you work Uber.
It doesn't matter, bro.
You're putting in that work.
You gotta get your money, man.
Yeah, you gotta shoot for your dreams. You gotta go.
Who gives a shit, man?
What matters is what you're aiming
Even
for.
if you sell a little dick, bro, you gotta just fucking get that money. That's good.
If you're down to go that far, as long as you're aiming for that future, that
satisfied customer, as long as it's safe for satisfied customer.
You gotta have some good customers.
That's what I tell you, man. Super strength. That's super strength.
But yeah, if you're a listener out there that's actually putting in work, you know, 7 days, or even maybe less, I don't know. You're putting yourself out there to your limit.
Yeah,
we respect that. We're gonna drink to that right now. Let me hear that clink, man. For the people out there who are putting that grind.
Yeah, put in that fucking grind, dude. Get that money, dude. If you guys are working out right now, if you guys are, you know, have to work early tomorrow, if you guys fucking working a 10-hour shift, 16-hour shift, I've done a 24-hour shift myself. It sucks, but you know what? At the end of the day,
I'm gonna call it, you're a badass.
Thank you, bro. And I'm gonna call it, bro, you're sexy. No, I'm kidding.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I am sexy. I am. He's like brushing his nails.
Yeah, if this is if you feel this as a pick me up, if you feel this as like, you know what, you're right, as a motivator, as a boost for your week,
go get that money.
Go get that money, man. It's not the situation you're in right now is not forever, and that's all up to you.
Yeah, and you know what? That's the beauty of living in America, dude. Beauty of living in America is, and unfortunately, you can live off welfare.
Yeah.
Or you can decide to work ass off, save your money, go get an education, get a better job. That's the cool shit about America.
You know what? I think me, myself, from what I perceived.
And so don't get me wrong, guys, to let you guys know, I never passed college, went to a few classes, only graduated high school, and I got a good job here in the Bay Area. So I highly recommend for you people out there to understand that you don't really need a degree to get somewhere in the Bay Area.
That is true.
You just need to be a good person, work hard, say what you literally talk the talk and walk the walk, dude. Do what you got to do and get out there and learn. You got to learn.
Out of every single job that I've had in my life, and I don't know about you listeners right now, but I've always been able to tell who gives a fuck and who doesn't give a fuck.
Oh man, it is
obvious.
It's
so clear. It's black and white.
It's
day
obvious,
and night,
bro.
Guys, if you're there and you're notably
Not giving a shit.
Not giving a shit, it shows. I'm telling you right now.
In your clothes. It shows in your face.
In your attitude.
Attitude.
In your daily just operations. In your work that you put in. It shows. Everybody can see it.
Dude, don't ever be with the group. If there's 5 motherfuckers telling, oh man, I won't be here today, get the fuck away from them, dude.
Yeah.
You don't need that shit, dude. You're out there to get yours, man. You're trying to look good in front of your boss. You're trying to be on time. You're trying to get that money. You're trying to get ahead in the company. You're doing a lot of things. You can't be surrounded by the negative folks out there.
Yeah.
You can't.
You can.
Even if they are the ones setting the trends in the culture of the company.
Yep.
Who cares?
Yep.
Be against that.
Yep.
I love being the individual in the group. I cannot stand following people. It irritates me.
Yeah.
I can't look at people and be like, oh, we're going to go here. I'm just a natural person to be like, I'm going over there. I just naturally do that. It's natural. I never go against the popular group. I've always been the outsider, man. Always.
And if the work environment that you're in right now is just so purely toxic, you just absolutely cannot handle it, you need to get out.
Yeah.
It's not, guys, there's so many companies if you're in the United States, guys, there's so many companies in the United States that you can apply for. Mm-hmm. There's so many different jobs. You can change industries. You can change professions. I mean,
number one, though, recommendation. Do not ever leave your job in bad terms. Don't leave your job in bad terms.
Bridges.
It's really tough out there. It's tough sometimes when the environment's toxic. You just want to get the fuck out of there. You think it's the right solution. But from my experience, don't.
Might as well.
You might as well just,
back that up.
You want to go out to your boss, tell him like it is, really tell him that you've got to get out of here and you've got to look for another job and find another job and do what you got to do. But, it's crazy out there, man. It's crazy out there, man. It is crazy. But the Bay Area got opportunities. So if you're listening from Oregon, from Africa, from South America,
from the moon.
I
mean, we don't know. Maybe these podcasts make it.
Clink clonk, clink clonk. Talking to some aliens out there. Yeah. Go get a job in the Bay Area. I'm talking to Chewbacca and Kashyyyk. Like, what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. This one time, just like randomness, I was just thinking about this. It's so weird. I used to have an ex-girlfriend, high school sweetheart type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And, me and her, we still were in love, all that shit. When I'm with that person, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But we used to get it on, get it on.
Okay.
But we always wear condoms, right? Of course.
Multiple?
Yeah, several condoms. Not just kidding, right? Wear a condom. And, so we do it, right? And sometimes I would, after using the condoms with her, I would always put these condoms in a bag underneath my bed.
Okay.
So like a soccer bag. You ever seen a soccer shoe bag where it's just like, just 2 pairs of shoes in the bag and that's
I got one of those. Yeah,
right? I had a blue.
So you only had 2 condoms in it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had probably about 100 condoms in that bag.
Oh, shit.
So I constantly stored condoms that were used in that bag. Yeah. Because I didn't want to show my parents those condoms. Right?
I mean, there's other ways to dispose of them, but okay.
Well, so you had a collection. I wasn't going to keep it in my pocket and go walk to the trash. I don't want no one to know that I'm doing it.
You don't have to keep it in your pocket, man. You could just grab like a little, even a book or something as you're walking towards the trash and bloop, just drop it in.
Put it inside a book? Are you kidding me? Like a bookmarker?
You fucking put it in your pocket?
I just jizzed in the condom,
put it in your pocket, man.
No. Okay, so I put it in a bag. Because I don't want
Could you imagine a pocket full of cum? Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
But you said you want to put it in a book.
Yeah, fucking book, man. I already read it.
Fuck you, you don't read books.
Are you kidding me? We don't know each other very well, but I got a fat stack of books.
That just collect dust.
Because I read them already.
Well, they're probably textbooks.
Anyway, so you're walking with your pocket full of cum for some damn reason.
Okay, no, not a pocket, bro. Every time. No, you're not listening to the story, dude.
My bad.
So usually, my ex, long time ago, high school sweethearts, we do it right in the bedroom, in my room, my parents' house, and I would put the condoms in this bag when I'm done using it, the soccer bag.
Yeah.
Right. Well, finally we broke up. Right.
Okay.
And I needed to get rid of this bag.
How old is this bag?
It's old.
Oh no, dude! And you're sleeping on top of it.
Well, it doesn't smell or anything. Only smells when I open it. What doesn't matter. I'm just putting shit in it because I'm cleaning my room. I'm all pissed off.
Okay.
Whatever. The girl left me. Blah blah blah. I'm rearranging my room.
Okay.
Right. I threw a bunch of collectibles that I had with her. I threw it away.
Okay.
I'm drunk one night. I was a young kid. Drinking by myself at home.
Okay.
As most kids do.
And adults.
And I decided to take the bag and I just skateboard down the street and I just throw it into a golf course by my house.
Hole in one.
I just go, whoop.
What?
Don't even care where I throw it. I just go,
how old are you?
Maybe about 17,
okay,
16
I mean,
years
that
old.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, keep in mind, I've heard kids in this generation, little kids, they're fucking smart. When I was like 17 or 15, I was stupid compared to the kids nowadays.
Oh, yeah, me too, man.
Yeah.
I was really dumb. Okay,
Yeah.
this like
you fucking threw a bag
I threw a
full
bag of condoms.
of your DNA.
Okay, yeah, my DNA, everything. I just threw a bunch of shit in it. So at that point, when I was rearranging my room, I was just throwing things in it and just threw it out. So, anyways, I threw it out, right? And I go to school next morning, whatever. Go to school and I get a phone call on my cell phone from my mom. She's like, "When you get home, I'm gonna talk to you."
No.
I said, "What the fuck?"
Did you tell her that? What the fuck?
Nah, I didn't say shit.
You just thought about it. Okay.
So supposedly the story is that when the golf course manager was doing his rounds, cleaning the golf course,
No.
he found a blue Adidas bag
No.
full of condoms, used smelly condoms, and my report card.
No.
The motherfucker drove to my mom's house.
No.
And showed her the bag.
Oh, I thought the report card.
And the report card.
Oh, no.
And said, "This is yours." He did not show up in a regular car. He showed up in a golf cart at my mom's house.
The golf cart.
Gave it to my mom and said, my mom looked at me and said, "I fucking almost threw up on the guy."
Oh, no.
Till then, I never used condoms.
Guys, we're going to call it there. That's a beautiful ending. Oh, my goodness. I need to process this information, but we're going to call it. We're just going to call it.
Let's just call it, guys.
That's it. Thank you so much.
We had a good talk with you guys. We hope that you guys were inspired.
We went deep.
laughed.
We went real.
We went real with you guys today. Hope we see you guys on episode 4, and I hope you guys continue to keep listening. And thank you very much. And just remember, when you guys are out there, just make that fucking call.
Yep. Make the call.
All right.